Welcome in, everybody. It's the coach, and you're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Coming up, fourth-year quarterback Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction to the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D as their guys will do battle with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hello again, everyone. I'm Brandon Godden, joined as always by Charles Davis. And Charles, you take a look at this Cowboy team entering play. They've certainly found their groove of late, winners of 5 in a row.
And I think the sky's the limit for this team. They're playing the best football that they've played in a long time.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They're led out by a man raised in Alabama, went to Florida State. It's their quarterback, Jameis Winston.
Coming off of a loss their last time out, I think he's just seeking to make a bigger impact on the game. He threw a touchdown pass, didn't throw an interception. I think he just wants to jump those numbers up in terms of flinging it around and letting his receivers get into the end zone.
Ready, blue lady.
So he got free of one tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Blue lady.
Mike is a 50. Check Mike 50.
Now Jameis on 2nd down. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
That's how we do it.
Ready, black, 22's hot.
That's how we do it.
3rd and long for Winston. Open man is there when it's complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That one goes for 24 yards.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pre-game. That's what they did there.
I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a first down.
All day, baby, all day.
There we go, D. That's the way to hit.
A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down.
Even, 4 down. Ready, white 25.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
I got you.
Now they nab the rookie there for the 5-yard penalty.
So much going through his head. You know it just has to be, right? All of his assignments and realizing every game he plays, one of the better players in the league will be opposite him.
The false start backs him up 5.
Ready.
1st and 15. They'll run it now out of the gun. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Throw right side to Perriman, and it's caught. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? You're able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Winston from the gun on third down. Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They were ball hawks last week. They had a trio of interceptions on defense. In the first drive, they pick up right where they left off.
They're creating quite a reputation for themselves, aren't they? And sometimes what happens is when they know that the defense can take the ball away, as they saw the previous week, now you try too hard to not let them take it away, and you force yourself into errors. They've intimidated them, in a sense, and gotten the ball from them.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 15.
Hey, boys, we got 4.
Here we go. 180. 180.
Ezekiel Elliott. And not much there at all. He's up only to about the 16-yard line. North of 100 yards, the 2 scores. And, you got to give a lot of credit to the O-line. We talked a lot about him, but offensive line was good, too.
They're obviously in sync with each other, whether it's zone blocking, power running game, no matter what. He understands how to read them and find the creases that they provide.
23 yards on the play. So Amari Cooper out of Northwestern High School in Miami making a nice play there.
And it's so funny that when I was going through the draft process when he came out of Alabama and was inquiring about him and his skills, they say it all began back in Miami. He really became a pro receiver at a young age because of his attention to detail and precision. But don't forget his athletic ability. That match there.
He did spend 1 year with Teddy Bridgewater as his quarterback there, so that helped back in high school. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, Elliott. Juked him, and he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains. Relatively small sample size, but that's his longest run of the first quarter. Bounced it out to the outside to make it successful.
And to get there, you actually need some help. It's not just your pure speed getting to the corner, making sure that the blocking is taken care of inside so the pursuit doesn't get you. And oftentimes, those wide receivers, tight ends that might be flexed out, they've got to control the edge and make sure no one from the outside can spill the ball before he gets there.
Here's Prescott. Throwing over the middle. It's incomplete. Intended that time for Cooper, and now it's 2nd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
Tight is right. What's tight? Tight is right.
Switch is A.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Buying time to his left. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a 1st down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
45, 45. Mike, 45.
Here we go, 46.
On 1st and 10, Prescott escaping the pressure right. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away, incomplete. Now that'll bring up 2nd down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Tight to the right. Move.
Gun. Hey, here we go.
A 2nd down throw for Prescott. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Really been an ideal start for them. They get the turnover on the opening possession. Now here they are moving the ball straight down the field on their first drive.
And that feels good, but you know on their side of the field, all they're thinking is, finish this drive off because they took it away, right? So now you got them back on their heels a little bit. Now go down and put a touchdown on them. Look out. You've won the mental battle early in the game, and that may carry over for you.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by...
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 4 to start things out.
We got 3. We got 3.
Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Toward the pylon.
Watch tight. Watch tight.
And he'll take
Tight
it
end
into
right,
the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, touchdown number 18 on the year. And the Cowboys are in for 6. Extra point right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
Game here with the running back. Even with the nice move, can't go very far. Stop short of the 30. Jeff Heath, the one to bring him down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
Jameis now on first down. Eluding the pressure right. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's second down.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion or even worse, an interception.
Single receiver. Hey, you're on an island over there. Ready. Blue ready. Look out that.
Second down, Winston. He's got this one complete to Perriman.
It's just me and you.
He's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Ready. Black 22.
Working out of the gun, Winston. And Winston lost the football. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Nobody else there to protect.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36.
Okay, folks.
Only 3 there on the pickup.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
4 down, check.
There we go. Wide eight.
A first down carry by Elliott. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
Baby.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Gun.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. On the crossing route, he hits his man, Amari Cooper. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. He got 29 yards that time.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with...
And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 2 first-down touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And it culminates in a Dallas touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game. And typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Hey, let's get
Line
the
of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10.
Tight end right. Hey, boys, we got 4 down. Ready.
Black 22's hot.
A 2nd down throw for Winston. It's caught by Mike Evans. He's at the 40, 20, 10, touchdown, Tampa Bay. Mike Evans, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Bucs get the quick strike touchdown. They were already down 2 scores early. They needed something to try to stem that tide, and that certainly qualifies. A big play to get them in the end zone.
It qualifies indeed because, let's face it, they don't get something done on this drive, turn it back over. This game could be 88 and out the gate early.
What, 88 and out the gate?
Yeah.
What's that?
Well, listen, I used to hear my old man talk about it. Usually meant that thing's done.
Well, now that they got the touchdown, it's not 88 and out the gate. We still got a good game going ahead of us. Now it's Wilson. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. Looking to throw. Prescott.
Here we go. Here we go.
Completes it right side to Cooper. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Oh, yeah.
I know we just saw a nice throw and catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
The attempt on the dive, and he has it. What a catch. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. 10 now for Elliott. And he'll be taken down just shy of the red zone at the 21. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Hey. We got 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits. There's creases up there to exploit right there.
They give to Elliott. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
We both know it's difficult, but they've made it look effortless out there. Through the air, on the ground, they've moved the ball with relative ease.
Check tight end.
Hey, here we go. 180.
From the red zone now, Prescott. And this one is incomplete. Randall Cobb, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Prescott again. And that one will fall incomplete. Clock here now just under 30 seconds to go in this first half.
I'm going to need some help with this one. How did he miss it? Wide open in the end zone. He's not hurried. He's not hit. And somehow...
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. 3 touchdown passes now for Dak Prescott. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. They're giving a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here of the 2nd quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the 2nd half.
Jameis Winston and company heading back onto the field now. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the lead. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
So far, he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now.
Ready. Blue ready.
No running now out of the gun. And he'll take this one up over the 20 to the 21-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup. It'll be 2nd down. He'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss.
Ready.
And they'll go around. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. So we have come to halftime here in Dallas with the Cowboys out in front. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Getting set to go again, we get a look at Amari Cooper as he heads back. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost like a reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
At 5 yards on the play there as the drive will continue.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down. That's exactly what he did.
Prescott down. Being chased out left. The ball comes out, but this will fortunately wind up out of bounds. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
I have to admit, partner, that I've often thought that I don't like this rule where the offensive player fires the ball, goes out of bounds, and they get to keep it.
That's just you're a defensive guy. That's why you don't like it.
Yeah, you're right. It is a slanted view, isn't it?
But this is where, for the offensive team, the sideline is their friend. Usually it's not there for him.
Yeah, exactly right. I actually played for a guy in college. You know what he used to name the sideline? Sammy. Sammy sideline, and use him well. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, put a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point. Going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
I hope we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large. They've been barreling through and picking up first downs.
Now Prescott. And incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just one target in the first half. Incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, she can't stop them at all. Going back to him. Find him. Find him.
Gets past one man. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And he'll go backwards. Losing yardage to the 5. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll make it 3rd and goal. Here's Elliott. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, but it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal.
Hey, fellas, we got 3. Let's go.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
I got 19.
Here we go. 1.
Now Prescott on 4th down. And my goodness, this is incomplete. He had 3 touchdowns already, but won't get a 4th here. And the Bucs defense, they'll celebrate the goal line stand. So the defense asked to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They get
a big seam, and he might go all the way. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Peyton Barber, 95 yards. And the Bucs are able to make this a close game again. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And this return net's positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. We've seen him be good so far. He's hoping to continue that trend here in quarter number 3.
And typically when you see guys running it this well, they see the game in slow motion, don't they? They see the cuts happen. They see the blocks happen. They feel really good about their vision. And then they use their legs to find that open space.
And he's had some good help up front to boot. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now. Out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. Elliott a first down and more. And down to the 16-yard line. A big hitter there. A first down gain of 26 yards.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front seven, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing. Slow them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Partner, I think there's a lesson there. Some days you're just having a really tough time, and for the defense, today has been that day. But after that play, what do you learn? You can still make plays even when the other guy's having success against you.
And he's heating up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. And that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. Dak Prescott now 4 touchdown passes on the afternoon. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. Extra point splits the uprights. A good, sustained drive there in this 3rd quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they hit the home run last drive. 1 play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description, because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this.
And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack.
Was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Ground game to the tailback. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter.
Here we go. Hey. Tight end left. Tight end left. Ready. Blue ready.
On 3rd down, Winston. And he is caught. It's Perriman. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39.
Yeah,
13
baby.
yards as the quick slant keeps the drive moving. 4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get 1 more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the first one for the 2nd one to even matter.
To throw is Winston. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 23 yards on the play.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? And his throw here's incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Winston on 2nd and 10. Oh, look over the middle, and he's got Perriman. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive play.
Looking for Evans, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis. And the return will stop right around the 25.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games, and now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Following the interception, here's Prescott. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. Absolutely mess. Throwing, Prescott. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Don't be mad. It's more coming.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish.
Hey, here we go. Wide 80.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd. Cooper's got it. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack of finding his way open and completing the connection.
And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. 11 more on that one and another 1st down.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he's ready to be at his peak late in ball games.
A dump off to Elliott. And I think the ball's out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
I don't know about you, but I could hear and feel the sigh of relief all the way up here in our booth.
That was palpable. The sideline, the there.
No doubt about it. Able to retain possession, no turnover. I know it's coaching the spirit, but just hang on to the ball, man.
It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. How about this offensive line? They're really starting to establish themselves, take over this game.
And before the series began, I know exactly what we said in the defensive huddle. Guys, we got to get no less than a 3 and out. Let's get off the field. Instead, they can't find any traction towards doing that. Right now, they're just getting muscled all over the field and getting pushed down it.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Watch out. Hey, switch. Hey, we go.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Flushed out right. This would complete to Witten over the middle. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. So that throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
Well, they're unable to convert that into much, but it's never a bad idea to try to get the ball into a tight end of his caliber's hands and see what kind of disruption he can cause.
Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. And quickly, we're going to get another stop here with 1:54 left as they call the timeout defensively. The Cowboys on third down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
Hey, here we go. 180.
They'll try and run for it with Elliott. Whistles now and a timeout. So defensively, they burn it here with 1:51 left. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Hustle.
They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Cowboys will add him on to their lead. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. He's got the hat trick. 3 touchdowns now.
Did you throw yours? Did you throw yours out?
I didn't have mine. You've got yours. You've got one of those Abe Lincoln hats.
Yeah, and that stovepipe is going right out there for him. A nose for the end zone. 3rd time today. I think he deserves a tip of the cap.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride.
Ready.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once we were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
Boys, head up. Boys, head up.
Now a 2nd down throw for Winston. Over the middle to Evans. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. Jameis to throw. Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Jameis again. He's got this one complete to Perriman. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Sunday.
Now whistles here before the snap. Looked like one of the bucs may have moved.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. A false start backs him up 5. 1st and 15.
Ready. Black 25.
To the air again with Winston. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Let's go now.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field that's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense, because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And they went for a big play through the air on 2nd down. Couldn't connect. Now it's 3rd.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. 3rd and long for Winston. Open man is Godwin. It's complete. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining.
Four down. Ready. Blue 80.
Again, it's Winston. That's caught at the 3. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. O.J. Howard, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit.
And yeah, that touchdown counts for their team, but I think it counts more for the fantasy guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just something maybe positive to look at on film, but this one's over, let's be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one.
Extra point attempt to come here. after, right down the middle. And that will shave one more off this lead. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. This is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none.
You mine! What do you think?
The Cowboys on their way to victory as they take a knee. A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not at a premium. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Cowboys, it's a big win here as they move to 11-4 now in the year. And they will hit the road next week.